when everything is on the line. Usyk versus Dubois 2, a battle for redemption and legacy. What makes a fighter truly special? What sets him apart in a sport where pain is currency and glory is fleeting? Maybe it's the perfect timing, the hunger, the past he carries on his shoulders. Or maybe, as someone once said with a grin, it's just a gap between his teeth. Ladies and gentlemen, on July 19th at Wembley Stadium, the world will witness the next monumental chapter in heavyweight boxing history. On this night, everything will be at stake, all the belts, the title of the undisputed champion, and the ultimate truth. Two men will walk into the ring with one purpose: to prove, finally, who deserves the crown of the heavyweight kingdom. On one side stands Oleksandr Usyk, the genius, the master of chaos turned into order. He's not just a fighter, he's a boxing architect. For over 4 decades, I've never seen a fighter closer to perfection. A man who paints his legacy in sweat, movement, and brilliance. He is a symbol of resilience. Behind him, a war-torn homeland, unwavering faith, and a family that fuels his fire. He fights not just for titles, but for purpose. On the other side is Daniel Dubois, the young lion, a man reborn from ridicule. Many had written him off after his loss to Joe Joyce, but they misunderstood the moment. That wasn't a defeat, it was a proposal to his destiny. And now, he's just one fight away from the throne. Dubois insists he was robbed in their first bout. To him, this rematch isn't just another title shot. It's justice, redemption, and a deeply personal mission. I remember watching their first encounter. The world watched in silence as Dubois landed a controversial body shot in the 5th round, a punch that split the boxing world in two. Was it low? Was it legal? The internet exploded. Some saw it as a clean liver shot. Others cried foul. Even today, if you freeze frame that punch from different angles, the truth changes with the lens. For Dubois, it was the moment he believes he beat Usyk and had the victory stolen from him. Referee Luis Pabon's call, low blow, no knockdown, echoed through the arena. What followed was more than just boxing. It was controversy, chaos, and a question that still divides fans. Did Usyk milk the moment? He was given 3 minutes and 45 seconds to recover, far more than standard. Was it justified? Or was it protection for the favorite? The British tabloid screamed, robbery in Poland. Meanwhile, Usyk, writhing in pain, but unbroken, returned like a machine. Round 6 to 8 saw a shift. Something snapped inside him. It wasn't just survival anymore. It was vengeance. His punches carried punishment, purpose. Dubois, who came so close to the pinnacle, watched it slip away. In the 9th, Usyk struck with the precision of a sniper, sending Dubois to the canvas. The fight was over. No hacks, no smiles, just silence thick enough to choke on. Dubois walked away not just defeated, but convinced he had been denied justice. But here's what makes this story bigger than a rematch. It's about who these men became after that night. Dubois didn't fold. He didn't disappear into the shadows. He came back stronger, smarter, and meaner. First, he faced Gerald Miller, a hulking, unrelenting beast. They clashed like tanks, but in the 10th, Dubois unloaded a barrage of punches that crumbled the American. Then came Filip Hrgovic, undefeated, clinical, dangerous. But under pressure from Dubois, he melted. His face was a crimson mess before the medics halted the bout. With that, Dubois became the interim IBF world champion. And then came the shocker. Anthony Joshua, Wembley Stadium. Cameras. Hype. Expectation. But no one predicted what would unfold. For knockdowns. Total destruction. A storm named Dubois. It wasn't upset. It was an obliteration. One of the most devastating knockouts of the year. That night, the world realized Dubois is no longer a promising young prospect. He's a predator, a legitimate threat to anyone in the division. Now he comes for Usyk again, not as an underdog, but as a man with unfinished business. And he's changed. The humble, quiet Dubois is gone. In his place stands a cold, confident Daniel Usman. At the final press conference, he even shoved Usyk. His message was clear. Last time, I started the job. This time, I finish it. Usyk, by contrast, was a statue, silent, focused. But behind those icy eyes burns a fire. There's no hatred in him, only resolve. He's not here to debate. He's here to shut the door. Once and for all. Let's not forget, Usyk's journey to this point wasn't easy. A cruiserweight king who moved up to heavyweight, he beat Derek Chisora, Tony Bellew, Murat Gassiev, and twice outclassed Anthony Joshua. Then came the moment of truth. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. Twice, Usyk beat him, cementing his legacy as the undisputed champion. No other fighter in the modern era has navigated such a brutal path. Usyk is 38 now, older than Dubois by 11 years. His time in the sport is limited. His speed and reflexes may be fading. But what he has is experience, IQ, timing, and an unbreakable mind. Dubois has youth, power, hunger. He's changed his training camp, his team, his tactics. He no longer respects Usyk. I don't want to box him, he said. I want to hurt him. His coach Frank Warren believes Usyk struggles when forced backward, losing 60 to 70% of his effectiveness under pressure. And Dubois intends to exploit that. Usyk's promoter Oleksandr Krasiuk, with a smile, warned, "If you think you've seen the best of Sasha, you're wrong." In many ways, this isn't just a rematch. It's a collision of eras, of styles, of worldviews. Usyk is a puzzle no one has solved. He fights like a 21st century Ollie, precision, angles, rhythm. He breathes between your punches. He sees your rhythm before you find it. Dubois wants one mistake, one window, one short circuit in the perfect system, because that's all it takes in heavyweight boxing. This will not be a repeat. This will be a reckoning, a war. 2 semifinals already took place. Usyk beat Fury. Dubois destroyed Joshua. Now, they meet in a final battle for absolute supremacy. Who walks away undisputed? Who writes the next line in history? On July 19th, the answer will be written not in words, but in blood, sweat, and thunder.